Okay, coming to Hope Community Center here in North Kinninga has affected my life and my worldview in the way that I kind of had this novel idea that orphanages and people that started orphanages were doing something good or something noble. And being here and seeing the reality of the towns, the people, how they live, and the children, it is good and it is noble, but it's more than that. It's absolutely necessary. It's not just because they're doing something good. I think in North America we have this, oh, let's applaud them because they're doing something good. But here it's dire straits. It's these kids, it's life or death, it's their next meal or not, it's whether they're going to sell their bodies on the street or not, or whether they're going to take drugs or sell drugs or not. It's more than something good, it's necessary. And I think that's impacted my mindset to not just support something good, not even me thinking I'm doing something good because I'm supporting something good. It's that I have to do something because they have no choice either. I think that being here has changed not so much my view as my heart. And it's heartbreaking for me. Like I always knew, that these kids went through these kind of things, but when you actually meet them and you see their personalities and you learn the little quirks that make them human and make them lovable and just make them whatever, and they become real to you, then when they tell you their story, when they say, their parents were killed in a travel clash and they were on the street when they were 4 and they were selling drugs, then you're like, oh my goodness, because this is somebody you know now and this is somebody you've grown to love, and what are you supposed to do with that? So it's made me feel a lot more helpless than I did before, because I was, as much as I didn't want to think that us in North America, we come to save the day. I guess that's what we've been indoctrinated with because we're a first world country or whatever. But here, there's so little that we can do. Like, they are quite able to look after themselves, but they do need our help. They need our help financially, they need our help spiritually, and without that help, this place would not be able to run. Without their support that they get from the collaborators in North America, they wouldn't be able to exist and give 200 children food and shelter and clothing and education and send them off to college. That just wouldn't happen. So as much as we are integral in helping them, we are not the ones who are saving the day. That's God. When God says that true religion is to look after the orphan and the widow, we don't do that. We don't even have a concept of what an orphan is or a widow. And yet you come here and you've got orphans, you've got kids who have seen their parents get their throats slit. And they're now here and they're having to adjust to an entirely different way of life, and they're under the age of 15. What are they supposed to do with that? That is an orphan. About a widow, someone who has raised 9 kids but now has HIV and their husband has died from HIV and they're now raising their grandkids because their kids have died from HIV. That's a widow. And that's what this community center is doing, is they're helping the orphans and the widows. And coming here, we're able to see just exactly what an orphan is, what a widow is, and also what it means to be God's hands and feet, because the work that these people do is incredible, and it is necessary. It's so necessary. And I think that seeing this is real life for these people. They sometimes don't know if they're going to have enough food to feed their kids, but they pray and hope and trust that God is going to deliver for them, and He does. And so seeing the faith that they have is just incredible, because that's not faith that I see back in Canada. Because we have grown so self-sufficient and so individualistic that we don't understand what community is, and we don't understand what it means to be reliant on God or to be reliant on someone else. And I think that that's probably the biggest thing, is learning what it means to have the faith of a child. Because when Jesus says that to get into the kingdom of heaven, you have to have the faith of a child, I look at these kids and that's what I see. I see the faith that Jesus had in His Father.
I think Yvonne and Chrisanne have pretty much said all the important stuff. And now, as I take off the final layer of my taste buds with this sour lollipop, I will tell you how this trip has changed my view on Africa. It's cold. It's really cold. It's very, very cold. I thought Africa was hot. This is not hot. This is very cold. And in Africa, they have guard turkeys. Not dogs. I mean, they have dogs too, but the dogs are useless. They just lie there, and the turkeys go after the children. It's quite fun. There's also barbed wire and regular police patrol, so I feel safe. It's good. It's good. It's home.